Yeah, man.
Your dad is a
Houdini to
pervert.
your mom last night.
Play us a game, you're the CommanderSmiths. Play us a game tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a good laugh, and you've got us feeling alright.
La, 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 la. Drop your pants, Lowry.
Nope.
Da, 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 da. Sing us a song, you're the piano man.
That's not the song. You're the CommanderSmiths.
What?
You jerk.
That's the piano man.
I know, it's the Piano Man. Bye.
Oh, man.
Wait, what?
Why am I not remembering? I'm brain farting right now. This is the, remember when I brain farted with Tool?
Yeah.
This is my brain fart again.
You're going to get
I'm
a lot of people
in.
So this is 74. Episode 74, by the way. And I'm stalling for Adam. That's all I can really do, because then we got our shtick.
Just say it, because it's really, there's nothing happening in my head right now.
Billy Joel.
That's actually what was in my head, but I was like, it's not Billy Joel.
I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to get it
why
wrong.
Did I make a guess? I was like, it's not Billy
Jesus.
Joel.
Yeah, because we don't do anything else
that
embarrassing
I didn't even
in this
say
whole
it.
episode.
All right, whatever.
Oh my god.
It's so stupid. All right. Yeah.
Welcome
when you
to
did,
the Commanders.
I still want to talk about it. When we did the Tool the last time, that was the second episode. For some reason, we get in the second episode. If I'm the one having to guess, my brain goes blank. Because as soon as you were singing it, I was like, it's Piano Man. But holy shit, who is...
See, the problem is whenever you hear this song, you are dropping your pants.
That's
You're
a good
fairly
point.
drunk. And you just... don't
there's
recognize it.
a backstory to this.
Yeah, Adam
St. Joe
drops his pants every time he hears this
St.
song.
Joe in Minnesota, which is outskirts of St. Cloud, Minnesota. We used to go to the bar, and at the last song that they play, I think it was called Sal's is what it was. Everybody get in a circle and put their arms around each other, and then the guys drop their pants, and you sing the Piano Man. Now, Lowry got married a few years back, and that was the first wedding I did at, where I was like, everybody get in a circle.
And we all got in a circle real
and
nice.
Then I dropped my pants.
And everyone was like, what the fuck? They're like, no, drop your pants. And then my brother dropped his pants.
He was the only one
and
with
then
me.
you're like tugging at my pants. I'm like, get the fuck off me.
And then my brother Joe got married last fall and got the Piano Man to play, and then almost everybody, you dropped your pants there.
I did not. I wasn't even there.
Oh.
We left because we had
party pooper,
like an under 1-year-old at that point.
But yeah, a lot more. And then we tried to do it for Jake's wedding, but then it turned into a kid party, and I was like,
yeah, it was so hot anyway. I did not want to see your sweaty ball marks on your underwear.
Larry,
boxers, whatever you
do this. It's like, absolutely not. I was like, but it's Piano Man and it's a wedding. We have to do it.
I was like, no, you don't.
Did you hear the joke that the DJ? Yeah, I told you that joke, right?
Like 7 times.
I'm gonna tell.
I was the first one you told, and then every subsequent person that walked in, you told them.
What joke?
Yeah, just tell it.
Okay, so the DJ, I went afterwards. I was talking to Larry. I was like, "Hey, should we tell him to not do it?" He's like, "Yeah, let's not," because the DJ knew the song because people request it all the time. For dropping their pants. So I went up to him. I was like, hey, we're not going to be able to do that song because, look, there's all these kids. He's like, I totally understand. He's like, hey, but I got a joke for you. I was like, okay. He's like, what's the difference between a Dodge Viper and a boner? And he, like, looks around like nobody's listening. And he goes, I don't have a Dodge Viper. But,
it doesn't get better the more you hear it.
But the funny part about that whole thing is, I was like, that's really funny. And then I started walking away. And my wife is sitting off to the side. You know, she was taking a break because the kids were dancing. And she's giving me this look. And I was like, I'll tell you later. And so then I see her later. And she's like, what was the deal with him smacking your ass? I was like, what? He didn't smack my ass. Well, our cousin Mark, or soon-to-be cousin Mark, was there. He's like, he smacked my ass 5 times. He totally smacked your ass. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. She's like, yeah. And then that's when the joke started.
Might have been like a hip slap as you're walking away. Yeah.
So, hey, there's a
Great
dad
stories.
joke. No, that wouldn't be a good dad joke.
No, that's an
really
awful
bad
dad joke. That's like when your kid, like, that's when you're trying to be cool with your kid and when he's in college and it doesn't go over well and all the friends are like, what the fuck is he?
Man,
your dad is a
Houdini to
pervert.
your mom last night. Look that one up. You guys can find out. There's a couple different Houdinis. All right, welcome, CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
That is the longest intro.
That's an intro.
I'm Adam Smith,
and I am Lowry Smith.
And we don't worry,
we are cousins.
We are cousins
again. Episode 74.
Yep.
And
what are we doing today?
So we started kind of an arc with Louisiana.
Was it Louisiana Leo?
Yeah,
was
Louisiana
that who
Leo.
We did
Why the fuck did it? But he
brought
up
brain
talking
farting
about,
like I couldn't do. It was Billy Joel.
My fault. Sorry, Leo. But he brought up the kind of the what do colors do? Wrong. I am wrong. What the cut all of that?
No, that isn't. Yeah,
cut all of this.
He didn't do it.
All right, fuck it. So what we're doing is we're kill on sight. And this is
that
kind
was
of
the thing that I
end
came up with. Yeah.
So kill on sight, you and Mark kind of talked about it. This one is kind of the tail end of that we started 2 months ago or whatever. But this one is going to be too late to kill.
So we're not going to make a token card for this, like kill him. That was where it kind of stemmed from, where it's
and
kill
really
that,
we changed it over to it basically is you need to counterspell these things, or else they've already taken their effect is just too devastating. But since Adam gets his feathers in a ruffle, we call it too late to kill.
Yeah, too late to kill.
Mary and I went skiing. We made a snowman. She touched my leg.
Okay, kill him!
Because you're not going to counter it.
Then we're also going to get into Oathbreaker. We're going to talk about kind of the rules that are going with it, some maybe cool Planeswalker spell interactions.
And we are the CommanderSmiths, but Oathbreaker is kind of like a branch.
It's a variant.
And
just kind of exploring it.
In kind of our feelings of it and when you would use it, I would say, like what situations of whatever. And then you have a couple decks, like you said, that we'll go through.
Yeah, I did build a deck.
But then you have a couple other example decks of things that might work.
Yep.
And then, you did build a deck as well.
A little bit of specs at the end.
Yeah, just a little bit. A little splash.
A little bit of specs. All right, so if you sit down and you follow us on Twitter, if you join Twitter and you want to follow us, same thing, just said differently. I do a hashtag not sharing with Adam, where I pick a beer that I'm not going to share with Adam, and I have it, and it's just a lot better when you don't share it with Adam. And also, if you have beers that you think we should be trying, you can suggest it at hashtag not sharing with Adam,
and then we might.
And I'll look around for it. I'm not going to try super hard, but
you can also send it if you wanted to.
If you want to send it in, go right ahead.
That was good. That was a good set of beers. I was very happy with those.
You're the man.
And then you can follow us on YouTube. Go on our page. Subscribe
Adam skipped
to our
over
stuff. Oh yeah, sorry.
Another bit of it.
Sorry.
So on, you can also hashtag Proxy of the Week. Adam makes a proxy, which go towards our patrons, and he just likes doing it as well. So
he just likes doing it.
Just doing it.
All right. So now you can go to our YouTube page and check out
PJ.
our videos and stuff like that. Like, subscribe. That's the free way to support our channel. The more likes and subscribers we get, the better. You can find our latest battle boxes and all that fun stuff on there.
And you also want to type Meat Force on the bottom of this to enter into a potential proxy win.
So for all the episodes of July, you'll want to go and put Meat Force on there.
Yep.
And you can even, if you're listening to this now and you're like, oh, I didn't do it on the previous episodes, go back to those and just put Meat Force in there. That's all you have to do. Just a big meat with a force. You can be creative with it too. We've seen some pretty creative stuff, especially when I don't get it.
Yeah, when you don't get it, it's much more enjoyable.
Do an acronym with and I won't get it at all these different words.
Mirrodin. I don't know an E off the top of my head.
Eventide.
All right. A.
Amonkhet.
T.
Time Spiral.
F.
Ooh. Shit. What is F? Do you have an F? Can you think? Fallen Empire.
Whoa, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Let's keep going. I like this.
Is that what we're doing? There's shit. How do you Oath
of Gatewatch.
R.
Ravnica.
C.
Oh, what would be a C? What would be a C?
That's a good one.
Oh, Cold Snap.
Cold Snap, and then E. Can't do Eventide. No, you can't do that.
Can you think of one?
That's not my job here. My job is to name the letters
E.
in.
I can't think of another E.
Well, good luck to anybody else out there.
Yeah, give us an E in there.
Eventide. We'll just go eventide.
Eventide again.
I know I said that doesn't work. But
All right, so that was fun. That was a good little skit there.
Meat Force! Act like cheerleader.
You know the best part is, what if you misspelled that at somewhere? I wasn't even I wasn't even listening to what you were spelling.
Force. Yeah, that sounds right. Is that what I said?
Yeah, probably. Right. Did we have a C in there?
Yeah, cool snap.
Oh, that's right. Okay, cool. So that was YouTube.
And then if you have any questions, comments, you can email us at CommanderSmiths@gmail.com. We really appreciate compliments because we have really low self-esteem. So anything is helpful.
Suggestions are really good because we do get
just
some of our
segment ideas. Yeah,
we've gotten a few segment
really good ideas.
stuff from people,
Yep.
so that's a good place to do that.
You guys are probably more intelligent than we are when it comes to creativity.
And then lastly, you can go to our Patreon account, and this is where we're continuing with
to promote
our box giveaway for Core Set 2020. So until the end of July, so until the first week of August, you got to get in the July Patreon account. For each $1 you donate, or
you will enter in for a ticket. $1 is one ticket.
$5 is 5 tickets. $10 is 10 tickets. We'll do a drawing also with a Battle Boxes something
ish, maybe.
And we'll open the boxes.
We haven't talked much about it since the last episode, so we're still not really sure what's going on.
Because we did the last episode 10 minutes ago. But so we'll open the box and then we'll give it away and send it to you. So have an address and all that stuff. But go on there. You got a month of July. And then the giveaway for our patrons. So now that that's all out of the way, should we get into our episode?
The Meat Force and potatoes.
Yeah. It's still bugging me. I can't think of another E1. You know, the easy way to do this? Fuck this. Because then it doesn't bother. I was going to say, Card Kingdom hasn't listed as card.
Not a sponsor yet. Card Kingdom.
Hey, Card Kingdom.
We are really good at talking, and you could have us talk for you.
Don't I just go into, or is it advanced? Oh,
you don't even know.
Additions A to Z.
A to Z.
Let's see.
Go to E.
Eldritch Moon. I was thinking of that one, but I couldn't. I was actually thinking of Shadows over Innistrad is what was in my head.
Where did our list go?
Which list? Oh, it's underneath here.
Whoop.
All right, so we move into Too Late to...
Okay, kill him!
Kill him! That's what this one was.
Yeah,
Kill him!
Kill him. But this is just shit that's almost too late and really powerful in
so
the
we're
right
kind
decks.
of more of telling you these cards, not that you can even do anything about it. It's maybe more of go get these cards and win the game, because it's pretty much too late.
It's kind of what happens. Yeah, it's just too late at that point.
So should we just work our way down from the top of the list down?
We could probably skip that first one.
Okay. So
I made this list like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I printed
it. So I don't, maybe even 3, and I don't remember reasonings for some of them.
Yeah. You had Memory Jar in there, but that's not we're not going to talk about that guy.
I mean, like, the card is crazy. Okay, maybe we can get into it. So let's say you're going with like
I have it in my Nekasar deck.
Yeah,
because it's drawing cards,
and then you're able to get into wheels, and everybody wheels. And if you're trying to discard cards, it goes good in Nath of the Guilt Leaf. Everybody has to discard their cards at the end, and so you're putting like 21 elf tokens into play.
So there's a couple different styles of decks that this works with, and a lot of times when you're putting it in a deck like that, you are going to win. I guess the reason why you had it as too late is because they can do it the turn it comes in if they have the mana to do it. So even if you're like, I destroy an artifact unless it's returned to dust.
It's at instant speed. You can always use it. And
wait, if it was a split second, they can't at that point.
That is true. But again, so like this is like more like that's really niche. Yeah. Like if you have a Frozen Grip, sure, you could deal with it that way, but other than that,
you're pretty
once
screwed.
It's in play, it's kind of over.
Yeah. So there's some. The other part is it's a reserve list card, so it's it's expensive.
You're not going to see it a whole ton, I don't think, either. But, like, just think if you put in, like, Niv Mizzet Perun or any Niv Mizzet deck, you're drawing 7, dealing 7 damage however you want. You're just getting a ton of cards in your hand that are just going to work.
Then we have next on our list, you kind of have it listed as
3 in a row. So Soren Markov, Torgar, and Magister Sphinx.
So Markov is going to make your life 10.
Same thing with the Sphinx, Magister Sphinx.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And then Torgar puts somebody's life total to half of what they started with. So down to 20, and then you can blink it, but you could also... so when that's coming down, that's severely hurting you.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. It's already in play. Like with Sauron, you can... Sauron. I was going Lord of the Rings. Saruman.
Saruman.
The fact that you can use
Digimon.
Digi.
Digi.
We just heard that one when
Digimon,
we were going through it. But you can't really do... You can do the minus... It's the minus ability, but you can do it the first turn it comes in.
Yeah,
so
it comes into play. Nobody can really react to it. So you kind of got to counterspell it or you're in trouble.
The next on our list is Gilded Drake. This one's another expensive card, but comes into play. You gain control somebody's creature, and they gain control of Gilded Drake. And often, a lot of times it's a blinking effect where you're taking back Gilded Drake and then doing it again.
Stealing the next big thing. And oftentimes when this effect is happening, if you kill whatever is doing the effect, you get your creature back. This is just permanent.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what's going on. Think if you had like a Panharmonicon out, you get to steal 2 creatures. I don't even know if you split it up, like who gets the actual...
Who gets the Drake?
Gilded Drake, yeah. I'm confused.
Yeah. That makes my brain hurt.
Yeah. So,
I'm sure number 2 will give us the ruling on that in a text message later. It's going to be like, actually, guys, this is what happens. Like, thanks, number 2.
He helps us a lot.
Yeah, he's our judge, not judge, because he's kind of like a judge, but he's not really a judge.
That would be what judge, not judge would mean.
Yep. I explained it in another way, like you explained your thing in another way.
That's how we're lifing this episode. It's just gonna
explain
repeat. We're playing
repeat. Stupid. All right, let's go to the next card. And I want to start using this card actually now that it came
with the reprint from Ultimate Masters. Yeah. So back to basics makes it so that non-basic lands can't untap.
And then you have Blood Moon, which turns non-basic lands into mountains.
And so those both are very similar effects. And when they come down, you're just like, oh, shit.
But then you have to be not playing the non-basics or the more basics than non.
So you kind of want to be like mono blue or like 2-colored, so you're not needing the non-basics or for back to basics.
I've been trying to plug these in a little bit. Like Blood Moon, I've put in a couple decks and I never come across it. Like, I just want to be a dick. I want to know what it feels like to be a Lowry. All right.
I like playing good lands, so I don't really use these two.
I know, that's why it's a little tougher.
Played against them and they just wreck the game.
It's in my Ilhrog deck is the one that I just used it in.
And we could even add in like Winter Orb and Static Orb and the orb effects. Like, You play those and like you can only untap 1 land or untap 2 permanents, and those cards when they come down just really slow down and affect the game.
I'm surprised we must have. It's been so long since we talked about it, but it must have been a kill on sight. But Vorinclex.
Yeah, Vorinclex was kill on sight.
Yeah, but it could also fit in here in a way too, because the first person that decides that they need to tap their land to kill it, if they can kill it, it has to be lucky that next person can kill it.
So far
their stuff
behind.
is tapped. Yeah, so that I think we talked about it at that time. We're like, this could fit in the almost too late.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily win games there. The next one is a game winner, Crater of Behemoth.
Yeah, once this comes into play, it's just so devastating that it probably should be banned like Paradox Engine.
Yeah. You could almost even add what's it?
Cyclonic Rift should also be banned. I'm just trying to make Adam cry here right now.
We haven't done our top 10 cards yet, Lowry. Stop saying that because I want these to be on my top 10. But no, the Finale of Devastation, that one could probably jump on here too, because you can go get your Crater Hoof and it really kills somebody.
Yeah, I think I tried to avoid spells on this list.
Yeah.
Because spells are really hard to interact with other than counter spells.
Yeah.
So, probably should have said that at the beginning of this list.
Well, we haven't looked at it in a long time,
Yeah.
so we're finally finishing
mostly
off
permanents.
this segment arc here.
Well,
that-
they
it was a
were
long
new
time
cards and new sets for the
Yeah.
last 3 months.
It was insane. So next one.
Where were we?
F.
Oh, Gitleaf Archdruid. So this one, when it comes into play, you can tap. It's either 5 or 7 druids, and you get to steal somebody's
7.
lands. Some players'
druids.
opponents' lands, all of them.
Yeah.
You just get them, even if they're going to remove the Archdruid. They just tap
And
many
you take
druids,
it.
and you take them all, and that's just game over.
Yeah, and it's
because that
not
person just
That's the
double their
the
mana.
tap ability, not the tapping. So you can
Yeah.
do it. They can
At-
unsummoning sickness, whatever, all that fun stuff.
And so it's really crazy. And if you play it so that you can play more druids and draw more cards, you're dumb. You play it when you have the right amount of druids, put into play, steal somebody's lands, get it over with, and just start winning game.
Why don't you do the next one as well? Because then I can do my favorite one after that.
Deadeye Navigator. Now
And this is
card,
one of your favorites, actually.
Yeah, I don't play it a whole ton because it is really good. I do have it in the Golos deck that I made last
I don't
week.
play it a lot, but I just put it in my last deck.
It's and I make sure that I put it in ETB decks. But what that does is you can pay it soul bonds with whatever creature that you want it to, and you can pay a blue and a colorless to blink Deadeye Navigator or that
Or the other
creature
one.
that it's. And so if there's enough mana, you're just not going to be able to interact with it. Like you can even, I'm going to
Kill it. Oh,
kill it,
I'm
blink
blinking.
it.
No, you didn't.
I'm going to kill that other thing. Blink it. Like, you just have control as long as you have that amount of mana. And if you know everybody's gunning for your Navigator, you just hold up that mana and make sure that you can blink it a few times just to save it until the next turn.
Yeah.
And it just so good. Just even a simple Thrag Tusk. Think about that. When it leaves play, you put a 3/3 into play. When it comes into play, you gain 5 life. So Thrag
Blink.
Tusk into play, you gain 5 life. Blink it, you get a 3/3, comes back into play, gain 5 life. Blink it one more time. So you got gain 15 life and 2 3/3s with a 5/3.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
So that
That's why that card's been going up, because it's a good card.
It's a very good card.
Next on the list is Gaia's Cradle.
And with it being a
Self-explanatory.
land, it just fucking ends
Yeah.
games.
There isn't as much land removal as you would want, but Larry does make sure to put in at least a couple in your deck.
I try and have 1 or 2 pieces that can deal with
and
land
it's
at this
basically
point.
for this card in general, because you get it out and typically you're using it. If you don't use it, you lose it.
That's what I learned from 40-Year-Old Virgin. Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
Her breast
What?
was like,
No.
they're like sandbags. Have you ever touched a woman's breast? Yeah, all the time. Just, yeah.
Honestly, I laughed so hard at the chest hair removal scene. It was like, yabba dabba doo. Fuck. Just rolling
That was such
at
a
that
good
scene.
movie.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to our list.
Tangent. So Necropotence. That's 3 colorless or 3 black mana for an enchantment, and then you can pay life to essentially draw cards. You have to draw or skip your draw step, but you get to draw so many cards off of this that it essentially just puts you ahead. Even if somebody goes to remove it, you can put 10, 15 new, 20, however many cards you need to put in your hand, you can just put that into your hand.
Yeah.
And I actually just realized I really should be playing this in my Yawgmoth deck.
Yeah,
Because,
probably.
it's
It's triple, yeah.
Yeah, it's triple black.
You definitely should have that in there. It would
So
fit in there pretty
It just hit me. I was just like, why don't I have this in there?
Stupid. Next is Azami, Lady of Scrolls. Is this the one where you tap a wizard and draw a card?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can just tap them. So even if you're going to kill the lady, kill the lady.
Just draw a ton of cards.
So it's in a wizard deck. You're kind of screwed when it comes out.
You're a wizard.
You're a wizard, Ari.
Man. One of the best lines.
You're a wizard.
All about movies tonight. I like it. Kiki Jiki, Mirror Breaker. It comes into play. You're copying the best thing you have on board, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. So it's just... I do this top 10 card for me, maybe. I really like this card.
Fitting this in there.
Yeah, we're just gonna maybe this is what's gonna happen next episode.
That might be. Write it down, Lowry. Where's a pen? Write it down.
Clicky pen.
So just do that once and then write it down. I have my clicky pen and I haven't clicked it. I just set it down. Keep it away. Stop it! You're gonna annoy them.
I'm like spraying it like
stereo
cologne on me. Yeah. Now in stereo.
We just lost a lot of listeners there.
Yeah. I've definitely turned it off to listening to this.
Next on the list is Omniscience. We all know what this does.
I'm making notes. You can talk.
You play it. You can play it. All your spells, all your stuff in your hand for free. You're done once it's out. So unless the person doesn't have a hand after that, because it is a really high casting cost card, that's the only way you're not totally screwed when this card comes out.
Yeah, Azami Lady of Scrolls just gets worse with this in play though. Like just draw a ton of cards, play a ton of cards for free, tap more wizards.
You're a wizard, Larry.
You can't say that every time that I say wizard.
You're a wizard, Larry. All right, it's a good card. There's nothing you can do. And the next card, you can also not do anything about. No!
Deep Glow Skate. So this is creature, when it enters the battlefield, you double the amount of counters on all of your permanents that you...
Self-explanatory. I mean, when you have doubling season out, you got to try to kill that as fast as possible because they're going to be playing stuff that comes in with multiple counters on it. Well, this comes in,
it's already too late.
And everybody has counters. Their shit's double.
Double the amount of Planeswalker loyalty counters, 1/1 counters.
Yeah.
It's too late. You can't do anything about the skate.
Kill! Oh, too late.
You can't.
Sirgard, Host of Herons. Is this the hexproof one?
Yeah, so it has hexproof. Makes it so that
humans have hexproof?
No.
You
that's
have
the
hexproof.
other one. No. That's the other one too. So this one has hexproof. You can't sacrifice creatures.
Oh, it's the one that made you lose the game.
Yes.
This is
but it's pretty much like it's without Torment of Hailfire. I won that game.
Torment of Hailfire is this card's kryptonite. Other than that,
essentially at this point, yeah,
it's pretty brutal.
But Sigard is really good in general, and once it comes down, it feels like it's way too late.
They just had the new card that also does that, right? There's another one that they just came out with.
The Tameo.
Yeah, that you don't have to. Yeah.
But Tameo's not a threat. This is a 5/5 flying hexproof that you need to wrath.
Huge bitch.
That's offensive.
That's a huge bitch. That's from another movie.
Yeah, what is that from? I don't know. I don't watch asshole movies like you.
Oh, really? Bandcamp?
That wasn't an asshole movie. It was just a bad movie.
What? Now you're admitting it's a bad movie.
Yeah, I can admit that it's a bad movie 15 years after the fact that I said it was an all right movie. And then you took it saying that I said it was a good movie.
You did. And you're like, well, I was making out with a girl.
I did not say I was making out with a girl.
I was cuddling with a girl. I was spooning.
See, yeah, I wasn't even cuddling.
You were hoping you were going to make out.
No.
You're trying to remember.
No,
Do you remember?
I remember. Remember just fine.
Remember, don't worry.
Is that from a movie too?
No, it's oh shit.
It's probably a Billy Joel song though.
It's close. It's a similar artist. It's the do. I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
That wasn't a very good drum beat, by the way. Heisman would be pissed.
You got it by me doing the do.
I did, but I'm really good at this.
All right, let's move on. We got to get this list done. We're really stretching this episode.
Doing some good stuff here.
I think you're on the next one.
This is a classic episode right here. Darksteel Forge. So this is an artifact for 9 when it comes into play. All artifacts have indestructible E, including that. When that comes down, very similar to Avacyn, and we just kind of split the difference. Avacyn was kill on sight. This is already too late. They're basically both too late.
Emrakul, the Promised End. This is the one that's not banned.
Correct. And when you cast it, Even if you try and counterspell it,
You get to take somebody's turn.
and you get to fuck shit up. And like
One
if they have
player is really
removal-
pissed.
Yeah. You hope that they have a sack engine online. You just sack all their creatures before attacking somebody with all of them.
Kill the other person.
Yeah, it's a dirty card.
What is that one? I actually don't know that card.
Angel of Dire Hour. This is dropping plates.
Oh, it's the dropping plates card?
Yeah, so this is when this angel comes, when you cast it, it comes into play, you get to exile all attacking creatures.
So this is when Trombley did dropping plates and Tyson played this.
Yeah. So Trombley all out attacks Tyson to kill him. Tyson casts his card, comes into play, exiles all, but he was like, dropping plates.
Yeah, Trombley dropped that first. You gotta get that part. He goes, dropping plates.
It looked like he like ran
Won the
across
game.
the like finish line of a race. He's like, oh, hands wide open, and then Tyson's like,
He's
did
like,
I lose still?
to see somebody's emotions go from the tippy top of the world to what? Like it's the reading it 6 times over to make sure that there isn't like something he's missing in there. It was probably the best thing I've ever seen. Sorry, Trombley.
Tyson's ready for tournaments, though. It's fine. It's good.
Then we have Mojin ?
Myojin. So these are
all of them.
yeah,
Because the divinity
they
counter.
they come into play if you cast them from your hand. They get a divinity counter, so they're indestructible that way, and then you can remove the divinity counter. And some
Something
effect
happens. Yeah,
comes into
that's
like
normally really good.
the black one. All your opponents discard their hand, which is brutal. White and red one, destroy all creatures, destroy all land. Green puts all your creatures from your hand into play, and the blue one draws you a shit ton of cards. So like all of these are really huge effects. They're really hard to get rid of, and so they're pretty solid. And even if you go to exile them, you can still remove it to have the effect. So the next one we're going to talk about is Galecaster Colossus. This is really good in a wizard deck.
I don't know this one. You're a wizard, Lowry.
It's a giant. So you can tap a wizard to return any permanent to that player's hand.
Man, I don't know this one.
This is from the Commander set in Ala. So like this card is bonkers. It's the only way to win with that command.
I want to see this card.
So it's when it comes into play, tap a wizard, any wizard, and summoning sickness doesn't matter. And you just return. You can do lands.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, this
I forgot
card
about that
just
card.
wins games in the wizard deck.
It doesn't price wise doesn't reflect how good the card is.
But this card is really good.
This was really good in that wizard deck. Yeah. Yep, that was a game winner there. Then next is Winter Orb,
We already talked about it.
Yep. And then
Jared Lich Lord.
Jared from Subway?
No, he's in hell.
Yeah. Not yet.
As close as Earth can make it, I'm hoping.
Which one is the Lich Lord?
So he's 2 green, 2 black, and you can like pay a couple mana, sacrifice a creature, and each player loses
yes.
life.
Yep. And he's from like Ravnica?
Return to Ravnica.
Yeah.
And so he can just drain everybody if there's enough mana on board.
And you're typically playing it in a deck where you're going to be using that huge ability there.
So he can. I don't know if you remember, like Nick did that at the first time that he came up to your house. My tenant friend Nick.
What a douche! I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he was like, I think you were about to win with Mazarek, and he's like, well, I'm just gonna do this, and just took us all out at the same time. I was like, whoa. That's a good song, by the way. Like, whoa.
Was that what we were playing at the
Black
wedding
Rob?
the other day?
What?
No, we were playing. What was that song? Remember, me and you were the only two that got it, and then I actually pulled up the song and started playing. Hooda 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 hoo. That's gonna be my song, my CommanderSmiths.
But I've already forgotten who did that.
Oops. Kick stuff. All right. Well, that is our list for Too Late. That rounds off our Too Late
Kill
to
him.
Kill, and this Kill Him were the tokens generated from, which we could do some. Yeah, Kill Him works. I was thinking we could do a different token, but that token you can point at a creature too.
Yeah.
instead of a player.
Yeah, you could.
Got it. All right, so let's move into Oathbreaker because this is kind of an interesting format. It seems like, I don't know, you actually built the deck with it, but from reading the rules and from things that you've looked at, it seems more of like a faster Commander game.
It does.
I guess let's go through the rules of it. Let's talk about that really quick first. So it's
All right, so
60 card decks.
Yeah. 60 card decks, singleton except for basic lands, very similar. You start off with 20 life instead of 40.
And your Planeswalker is your commander.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty freaking awesome because that's how I visualize Magic as a Planeswalker represents you. And that works too with the general with commander. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I like that the Planeswalker is your general, and it makes Planeswalkers, and that's what we kind of have talked about. I kind of want Planeswalkers to be commanders, but if we have this format in there, you stop hitting the fucking microphone. If we have this format, if this becomes more of a thing, I actually like this alternate way of doing things by having your Planeswalker as, this format, having your Planeswalker as the general.
And then each Planeswalker has a signature spell, which you get to cast only when your Planeswalker is in play. And each time...
It follows the same thing as...
Yeah, and so very similar. If your Planeswalker goes away, it's going to cost you 2 more to play. But if you've already cast your signature spell, that too will cost 2 more. So if you start off with something at 3, it'll go to 5 and then 7. So... I find that really interesting as well because you can always have different spells that do different things within your deck. And so I do like that aspect. It does seem like there's a couple of like already easily broken things that probably will not. I cross those off. We're not going to talk.
We're not even going to talk about
because they don't even look fun.
Yeah, what he's saying is there's 2 like combos that. The Planeswalker does an ability, and then your spell does an ability to shut the other person down so they can't do anything.
Like, okay, so
I
give
will
one
say
example.
One
So
example.
Narset, Parter of Veils.
So
which
from
is
War of the Spark.
Yeah, your opponents can't draw more than 1 card per turn. And then signature spell is Windfall, which is everybody discards their hand, draws cards equal to the most amount of cards that anybody has.
So but you're drawing a ton, and they're drawing 1.
Yeah, and that just sounds awful.
Yeah, I'm surprised that one's not banned.
Yeah, there's a reason why
Linvala?
Leovold is banned. Linvala.
I knew it started with an L.
I mean, you're not wrong. And so it that just
like
seems
kind of
unfun.
snorted. My mouth snorted. It wasn't even my nose. It was my mouth going.
You're a nerd. You're gross. And so there are some interesting things there. And what are some other things that are unique about this? So it sounds like this is a 3 to 5 person format. Games should take roughly about an hour.
You could do one-on-one with this. I don't know why they say 3 to 5, but you can play. Well,
because I think there would be more just lockout potential if it's 1v1.
Then it turns into more of like a modern game where it's get your turn, you win in 3 turns,
way
4
too
turns.
Quick.
Yeah. It seems interesting. I guess...
Is that the basic gist?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so that's kind of the rules there.
There is no commander damage because your commander really doesn't do damage.
Unless it's Gideon.
Yeah, then it turns into... But there's no commander damage. 20 life, 60 cards. 2 of the cards are your commander and your spell.
And those count within the 60.
Yep, so it'd be 58. Yeah, I think that's it. And then there is a banned list. Did you talk about that? We don't need to talk about it, but there is a banned list.
There is its own unique banned list. And the thing that I found really cool is there's a place for me to play my Caracas now.
Yeah, that was interesting. I was looking at his deck and I was like, what? And he's like,
yeah, so Caracas is a legendary land that is a white, and you tap it and then it returns target legendary creature to that player's hand.
So since you're not playing with legendary creatures as generals...
It's not banned. This is banned in Commander because that would really suck to just get your commander return for a land and a white. Like, impossible to, really hard to interact with.
One thing that is banned that's interesting, though, we talked about before was Soul Ring.
Soul Ring in this is banned.
Which I guess kind of makes sense. You're at 60 cards, so it's a little bit easier to get your Soul Ring.
Yeah.
And if somebody gets it, they probably pretty much win the game because it's a pretty fast format.
The only Planeswalker that I noticed that was banned was Saheeli the Gifted. And I didn't really understand that. Yeah, the last Planeswalker Commander set. It's good, but I don't know, like, I guess, like, Sorin Markov isn't nearly as good. Here, it takes you from 20 down to 10
half the
instead
life.
of 40 down to 10. That's a big difference. So I think it's a really cool idea because not having all your Planeswalkers legal in Commander, this is a really nice variant format that allows you to do that.
Mm-hmm. And I also like the spell part of it because it allows you to play. Not when I say combo, I don't mean like combo. You win the game right on the spot, but it makes it so that your Planeswalker and your deck synergizes a little bit better because you have a spell that works with it, so you can make more themes going with your decks. Like, well, let's talk about one of the what you did.
I kind of want to talk about the hate cards that are really good in this.
The hate cards.
Yeah, I didn't even tell you
the
about this.
Planeswalkers, or
against Planeswalkers. So, like, clearly there is removal for Planeswalkers, but there's other ones that I was finding is like Pithing Needle and Sorcerous Spyglass and Phyrexian Revoker. When they all come into play, you can name a card and they can't activate those abilities.
Oh, so you won't be able to do the Planeswalker.
So you just name a Planeswalker that they have. Total dickhead move.
That should be on the ban list.
And then like Ixalan's Binding, which is an enchantment when it comes into play, exile that permanent, non-land permanent, and then that spell can't be played. Again, dickhead move. And then,
but that could be played with a commander as well, that one.
Sure, yeah.
Because you could do that.
And then where Sword of Sinew and Steel works really well, because you can destroy target Planeswalker.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the new sword. So you just...
And that can go in every single Planeswalker deck because it's an artifact, and then you...
Yep. And you know that it's going to be going against other Planeswalkers. So I felt like those cards were pretty decent hate cards that can go in a lot of the decks, because most of those that I mentioned were artifacts.
Interesting, because actually that sword is the cheapest of the two.
Yep.
And that one is the only one out of my Modern Horizon, the boxes that we open. That one I haven't sold a single one of those. The other sword I sold out of those pretty damn quick.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
This one's, I think, really good in Oathbreaker, though. I think you should probably have one running around. I have one in my deck.
The one that we're going to talk about here in a little bit.
But I did get rid of all the other 8 cards.
Well, why don't you talk about some other examples of some decks that you have there?
So, yeah, to give you examples of the Planeswalkers and maybe some spells that would work with it.
Well, pause really quick. One thing that you did notice was some of the stuff where it talks specifically, like the Planeswalker decks from sets. Some spells are more expensive, and they work with this more because they're specific to, if you have a Nissa Planeswalker, go search for 2 lands.
So you have the Triumphs from War of the Spark. So there's Nissa's Triumph, Gideon's Triumph, Liliana's, Jace, and the last color that I'm missing, probably Chandra's.
I was gonna say red.
And so they all have an effect that happens, but if you have a Planeswalker of Chandra, something extra happens. So
they're kind of built for Oathbreaker in a way.
It kind of feels like that. Maybe Chandra's Regulator would work really well in this as well with the Chandra deck. And so those just as like, hey, you could have those as the spell and be really nice within that deck. And actually, I was going to say, so Nissa Vital Force, you can, it's 5, but you can plus it, and you like untap a land, it becomes a creature. But the next turn, you can ultimate it, and whenever you have a land come into play, you draw a card. Then you can Nissa's Triumph and go get 3 lands of any type into your hand. Just start playing lands. Or if you have like a Kodama's Reach as your signature spell, or Cultivate, like any land searching seems really good in there because it builds off of each other. Like even though it's 2 more, you just cheated 1 into play, and you're drawing cards off of it. That seems pretty solid and just like nice to draw a bunch of cards and land
I think
ramp.
When I build a deck, it's going to be more focused on land ramp or drawing with this as well, because that seems like a pretty good way to go about doing it. That's not what you did, though, did you?
No, I made a bad deck. So another example would be like Nahiri's Lithomancer. This would be like an equipment deck. So that's the mono-white planeswalker that you could have your commander. But if you have that paired with Steel Shaper's Gift, which goes and searches for any equipment, puts it in your hand, Nahiri puts any equipment from your hand into play.
So you can just go
and equip.
Yeah, you can get some freaking huge equipment stuff. Well, go get your freaking... what card do we always forget the name of?
Helm of the Host.
Oh, good job!
Got it. And so, but like, you could just cheat huge equipment in and have it all work together really well. That felt like something really cool. Another one that I think is probably too expensive, but Gideon Jura. You can force somebody to attack you and then have the signature spell be like... Gideon's Triumph would have them like sacrifice 2 attacking creatures, but you can go all out and do like Settle the Wreckage.
Oh, make it exile it.
And, force them to attack you and just exile all of their stuff. That feels really mean.
Douche.
I had a worse one I'm not even going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it now.
I had a worse one.
So Ugin the Ineffable, that's 6 mana,
totally
reduces
effable.
colorless spells down to like 2 less, and then All is Dust the next turn for 5 instead of 7.
You are a douche.
That's mean. What's another one? So like, notice like Gideon Jura is kind of like destroying a bunch of creatures. Nissa is ramp and draw. Nahiri is an equipment deck. Ral Storm Conduit would be like a storm or a spell deck. And so like whenever you play a spell or copy a spell, you get to deal 1 damage with Ral. You can copy spells with Ral. And if you do that with like a storm or so like Grape Shot, it's like doubling damage and you're trying to kind of storm off that way. You can deal a lot of damage really quick.
So you think you go for higher planeswalker or lower planeswalker or mid-range planeswalkers?
See, that I think is a good question. I have no idea.
Because the game really supposedly lasts only like an hour, depending. But I think it depends on what you're playing and who you're playing with, if they're aggressive or not.
I built my deck thinking it'd be like 1v1, but it does seem like it's multiplayer. Not done yet, though.
Jeez.
Real quick.
So
Replicate
many.
cards would be really good with Ral. And then the last one, it was more like off the spell. Delivery unto Evil, which is from War of the Spark. And it's, if you have a...
It's the black and 2 colorless spell.
Sorcery. If you have a Bolus Planeswalker, you get to bring 4 cards from your graveyard and put it into your hand.
So you're just...
That
playing
seems
a Bolus
really
Planeswalker.
powerful.
Yeah. So it's kind of like what we were talking about with the other ones too, where if it does a specific Planeswalker, that works out perfect.
And I was kind of thinking like commands, confluences, and charms that have like a lot of different abilities to the spell things. Could be really good as well. Maybe not as focused or synergized, but when you're facing a whole big table, you don't really know what you're facing to begin with. So I don't know.
So what did you build?
I built, like I said, probably a bad deck. I built Huatli, the Sun's Heart, which is from the War of the Spark. It is 2 colorless for a hybrid green-white, 7 loyalty, uncommon. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. So this is a big butt deck, similar to Doran or Arcades. But Arcades has walls that can attack. This can't. And then you can -3 it. You gain life equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control. So this deck turned out to be, big ass deck along with life gain.
Big ass deck.
The signature spell that I went with was Tower Defense,
Makes
which
sense.
gives all my creatures +0/+5
And reach.
but who cares? And so there's kind of like life gain mix in there along with just big toughness creatures.
Do you have now when you're building a 60 card deck like this? Do you have your Day of Dragons, your way of winning?
Is it a
lot
what
different?
tower defense is, though.
Yeah.
Essentially, if I get 2 creatures in, I can kill somebody.
Yeah, I guess because it's at 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
a
they're
good
at
point.
20. I can just kill them.
So when you were building this, what did you find more difficult, easier? Like, what was the difference between?
I think it's easier to build.
Is it?
You have a lot less to take from. I kind of probably in the wrong route because I looking at the ban list. You have a lot of high casting cost like sorceries and instants.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, am I even getting there?
Yeah.
Like I was like 20 life. I wanted to keep it fairly small. I don't think I have anything over 5 or 6 mana in there. So it doesn't feel. Maybe some decks need it, but like tower defense, I feel like should be able to.
You have Elspeth as one of your
through.
6
Yeah,
drops.
yeah, that's a 6/1.
You do have your Sword of Sinew and Steel. Yeah.
And so like with life gain, I should be able to stick around. My beaters should be bigger than everybody else, and just as like cheap. I think my biggest problem is probably drawing and just running out of cards. And the other thing I was thinking was like tower defense. I think is a really powerful card, but I was going to go with what's the one that's green colorless instant, gives hexproof and indestructible to all your permanents.
Heroic Intervention.
Yeah, that was going to be it. And then I was
could
just
see
like,
that
but
too,
it doesn't give that push.
Yeah, and your main thing of this is they assign damage to their toughness. So
yeah,
I think
so.
tower
This
defense.
feels more on, but I can just see a wrath wrecking me. And so again, I'm hoping that like I have a big enough toughness creatures that just make it work. Again, haven't played it.
It's interesting because Huatli you would think would be in a wall deck, but it's not. It's
Walls wouldn't really work. I think this
because
is
you can't-
more similar to a Doran deck.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty sweet. Have you played? So you goldfish it then?
Yeah, a little bit. And again, it feels awkward. Because I think what I was doing, I played much more with it with like heroic intervention in mind, and I was waiting until I had like I played like 3-4 creatures, and then turn 5, play Huatli and have the heroic intervention backup, and that's really hard to gauge. Like, is somebody going to kill everything? Do I cast heroic intervention?
And that's a hard
then
thing.
or
Yeah,
then?
you have a protection thing that then people see it the whole time.
Yeah, it's not a surprise anymore
That's
with heroic.
kind of the thing with heroic is being like, oh, you board wiped? Well, mine stay and all your guys' leave.
But I think that brings up a good point about tower defense. People know they have to chump then because I could just kill them outright. Again, if 2-3 creatures get through. So they know. And then it's like, well, is that most of my removal in a green-white deck? Is just having people chump because they know they have to?
It makes for an interesting strategy because you don't want that spell to be something that is super threatening necessarily because then you are always the threat. And I don't know. I guess when I build, that's where I was kind of saying I might do the land and filtering out your deck and get your good stuff by drawing it, and people don't know what you have type of thing. But
so I think it'll be interesting, and we've talked about this before, but I don't know if I want to go like have an Oathbreaker night.
Yeah.
At this point,
it'd be more of like when we have 2 groups and a group gets done and the other group's waiting to. Because we between matches, after the games are done, we roll again to see who are people. Mix up the people when we have 6 or more people or whatever. This would be a game to be like, all right, well, while they're finished up their game, let's play an Oathbreaker game. Is kind of how I see it.
Yeah, quick and simple.
Because we're not the Oathbreaker Smiths. We keep our oaths.
But it seems like it'll be a fun kind of format.
Yeah, I'll have to build one someday.
Get to it.
All right, let's move into our last segment with the specs. You'll actually be able to find that. That'll be on Tapped Out as well, your deck. We didn't really.
I don't know about that. I
You're
don't
not
know if
gonna
they
put
have.
Untapped Out?
I don't know if they have Oathbreaker there.
Oh, they probably don't yet, do they?
I'll check around. If it's there, you'll see it in the link underneath. If not, it's not there. See, we got to it again. We explained it in a different way.
Oh, double
Bring it back,
explanations. Smith specs of the week, guys. All right, so let's move into our specs. Lowry, why don't you start us off, because we really don't have that many, so we're just kind of rattle off the couple that we do have.
Last week I talked about going through my bulk foils. One that I was finding was Brass Herald foil. It's like $1 at this point, maybe a little bit more. It's 3 colorless for a 1/3, and you can tap it to equip any equipment to a creature at like instant speed. And being a foil at $1.50.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Everybody's going huge on equipment right now because of that 10/10. Now, as in like a week or two ago.
Well,
but
I sold almost
Cigardas
all
8 has gone crazy.
Yeah, I've almost sold all of them. Though what I had 20 some of them, and they're almost all gone now.
And so, like, I was just like, equipment decks might be becoming more popular.
And the fact that there's a hint of, like you've talked about before, that there might be an artifact heavy
set coming out.
And
I was seeing James Chilcott talking about, he thinks it's Theros.
Oh.
And I think he brought up a couple things. It didn't really. I saw it. I was like, no, it's artifacts.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. And
stupid.
He is much more well informed than I am. So
he knew about the Planeswalker stuff for War of the Spark well in advance.
He knows what's going on.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. It could be. There is a lot of hints.
Guy.
I mean, there is a lot of hints from.
Yeah, I mean, Steel Overseer, Mystic Forge, Ugin, and
Tezzeret.
Karn,
Tezzeret.
Tezzeret. Like there feels like a lot of hints that it's an artifact heavy deck. Then in my mind, they have like mana heavy Theros, and then they have a couple of cards in this core set. But I was just like, I feel like there's more of a colorless / artifact theme coming.
You're right, Lowry.
I'll keep on saying it, and then I'm just going to be absolutely wrong. That's how that works. So, Brass Herald foil.
So my only one this week is actually, so you got to kind of pay attention sometimes with, and we've talked about it before, you have the Saffron Olive effect. You have actually the guys you were just talking about from
Fast Finance.
Fast Finance will do it. Brainstorm Brewery will do it, where they'll call cards and you'll see cards spike. We follow Tellurium Academy. Is that right? Tellurian Academy. Yeah. And the professor called out a card last week.
Tellurian.
Throne of High City. It's from Conspiracy, Take the Crown. So it's an interesting card. I bought some of them because I was like, I don't even have this card. It was $1. And nothing special. Tap it to give you a colorless mana, but it kind of is the interesting thing that we've been talking about. I want Monarch to be part of Commander more. There just isn't a lot of it, but you can tap 4 and sacrifice it. You become the Monarch. So potentially it's a draw spell for you because you tap 4.
Yeah.
You become the Monarch, draw a card at the end of your turn and all that. Now, after he called it, it did jump up 50 cents. So it's at $1.50. Yeah.
But the foils kind of went crazy.
Yeah, the foils went absolutely insane. So those were at 5. They jumped up to 30, but that's kind of a fake spike. That just is, the inventory's gone. The only thing that's listed is something that's at 30. The real price is now at 15. So it jumped up $10. So if you had that, you're right there, you're a $10 profit. And those seem to be sitting pretty solid at 15. Yeah, 15.50, at least for the last week and a half or so. Those might still come down, but it does look like the non-foils are continuing to be on a spike. So, what, this is a week out from, we're recording this early. It might be $2 by the time I talk about it. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it levels out. I just think that this is a card that should be played more, and the fact that Monarch isn't really a thing that they're going to print a lot of.
Yeah, it is kind of a specialty set. I don't see, they're not going to toss it into Modern Horizons 2 or anything. It'll be a conspiracy set if they do it again.
I don't think this is has to go in every single deck type of thing. I'm going to try to force it into decks a little bit more because I want Monarch to happen. Like, I like that concept, and we never, because it makes people attack. And we've actually talked about that with Commander is... Adam number 2 did that with the last time they played. They had to start the game
first blood.
Yeah, whoever hits somebody first, they become the Monarch. So it just automatically starts. And I kind of want to start that in a way because
I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
There's a lot of times people are just like,
I don't want to do.
I don't,
well,
I'm not going to attack.
Some Commander players are just so fickle. It's like, how dare you deal me 1 damage?
There's
You're just like, Jesus Christ.
just a damage.
Let's get this game over
Yeah,
with
exactly.
instead of sitting around.
But that's why the Monarch, it forces people to attack. If you want to draw extra cards, you don't have
Or
to.
just let somebody else draw more cards.
Yeah, you get behind
silly.
and you're going to lose is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so pick these up if they're still under a $1.50 or whatever. I think this is a good. Don't go and drop $100 on it, but I mean maybe pick up a play set, 2 play sets, something like that. How many do you have, Larry?
I have like 2 non-foils.
They're foils?
Non-foils.
Go ahead to the
Non-foils.
next one.
So, funny thing is, what did I say last time?
What?
What card did I say? Brass.
The Brass Squire, dude?
I did say Squire?
Yeah.
Okay, so this card's going to be Brass Herald. I wasn't sure if I got it mixed up. So Brass Herald is a creature. When it comes into play, you name a creature card. Those creatures get +1/+1, and then you get to look at the top 3 cards and put that many creature types into your hand. It's like a 2/2 or a 3/3. But when I was going through, I had an Apocalypse foil that was sitting at like $7 or $8, and there's an 8th edition foil that was sitting at $4. And I was thinking, that's kind of underpriced. Different frames in that regard, but oftentimes core set foils tend to be more of the older ones because it was white border, and then for foils it was black bordered, and people desire those, and they're just a bit more rare at that point. And so I was thinking that I can, if the Brass Herald foil at Apocalypse goes high, I'm wondering if I was kind of wondering if old foils of like brown artifacts and just like older style foils are being targeted right now, and so I think it's an interesting potential. And
So you're saying to go after the foils?
I think going
for the 8th
after
edition.
the 8th edition foils would be beneficial. I can see that recover or going up to wherever the Apocalypse foils are at.
There, I wonder how. So you have a foil of the 8th edition?
Apocalypse.
Oh, I'm curious. I don't have any. I don't think foil white border cards. How do you think they hold up?
There are no foil whiteboard cards.
Isn't that this? This is white.
It's just messed up.
What
So,
about everybody goes for the 7th edition?
Those are black bordered.
Those are too.
Yep.
Stupid.
They
goldfish.
don't have white bordered foils.
Yeah, I was gonna say because the problem with white, and I believe was why they switched to black border, is that you can see
White
these
looks
get dirty
shit,
really
yeah.
quick. So I don't like white border, but
Yeah.
lots of people do.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah,
So
I dig it. I don't.
just a thought I was running across, and again, I haven't researched enough to see if older bordered foils are being targeted or not, but it did seem like it because there was like Angel's Trumpet that's like a nothing card, but it was like $9 foil from Urza's Legacy. So yeah,
Sweet,
there you
cool
go.
beans.
I might start looking into old bordered foils more to see what's going on.
Sweet.
Woo!
All right, that should do it for this week. Our double cast. You guys can follow us on Twitter.
At CommanderSmiths.
You can go to our YouTube page and subscribe and all that fun stuff.
Meat Force, CommanderSmiths.
Meat Force, yes, correct. And that's the free way to.
Want a proxy, maybe.
Well, I was gonna say that's a free way to support our cast.
Oh, nobody cares about that. They just want the content for free.
Email
And you
us.
can get that at YouTube. At CommanderSmiths at Gmail.
And then you go to Patreon, become a patron, and you can get into the drawing for the core set 2020
Box. At CommanderSmiths.
There we go.
We'll have all that linked at the bottom, so good luck to anybody and all, buddy.
All right, that'll do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye. I don't know.
What did you just say, though? No.
Everybody and all, buddy.